Hello everyone, I'm Raakhi Rupani, Communications Coordinator for BNI here in the UAE. And today we have not one, not two, but three of our members here in DNA Spotlight, Beenish Haider, Kapil Mathur, and Hemali Shah, talking to us about BNI Victory. So let's get chatting with them and hear more about this chapter and about their core group status and how they're going to be launching soon. Hello, Team Victory. How are you guys doing today?
Hi, Raakhi. Very well. How are you?
Great. Thank you so much for all of you for being here. I have interviewed each and every one of you individually or in your chapter heads. But before we delve into the questions about Victory chapter, let's get started by knowing each of you. And starting with you, Hemali, tell us about who you are, what chapter you represent, and what role do you have here in Victory chapter?
Thank you, Raakhi. I'm a member of Energizers. I'm running the travel and tourism company. I'm member since 7.5 years. I'm also founding member of Energizers. Recently, I've launched Emperor, and now we all are launching BNI Victory.
Amazing. How about yourself, Beenish?
Raakhi, my name is Beenish Haider. I'm a member of a chapter called BNI Emperors, which is one of the newly launched chapters. And that chapter has also been launched by Hemali. Thus the inspiration and why you see me here. I am a legal consultant, managing partner of a legal consultancy in the UAE called Lex Consortia. As part of BNI Victory, I'm part of the launch team in a role called Growth Ambassador. That's a new role. We'll of course discuss it. But within the launch ambassadors, the specific role is called Growth Ambassador.
Amazing. And Kapil, over to you.
Hi, Rocky. How are you doing? Okay, so a little bit about myself. Been part of Energizers for the last 8 years. Did that, and I was a core founding member with Hemali, which is why you see me here. I work with a firm called Holborn Assets, which is in the financial advisory space, with my core focus being on the key man and shareholder protection space. Yeah, that's about me.
So
and I'm on Victory. I'm on Victory as a support ambassador.
Amazing.
Supporting these two lovely women.
Yeah, the team has definitely been crafted very well as core members. And it makes a difference. Yeah. Because once you've gone through the experience, you're only able to then support and guide.
Exactly. That's what exactly I was going to say. Core group members now launching a chapter, and you're in the core group process at the moment. And launch ambassadors that you rightly have mentioned, it's a new role developed in UAE. And what exactly is the role and why was it developed, Hemali?
Oh, thank you, Raakhi. So once whoever said, if you want to go fast, you go alone. And if you want to go far, you go together. And that's the thing, what I implement and I have embraced even in my company, where we have 30 members, but it's not, we are all walking together. After I launched BNI Emperor, and I was attending one global conference, and someone mentioned about the launch ambassador. Now, this word clicked my mind, and I thought, why not to form the same kind of a team here in UAE, and we can go further and we can go far. The idea came, and I spoke to our national director, Vijay Shah, and I spoke to him, and he said, who do you have in your mind? Now, it's a multi-dollar question. So what I looked back and I saw that who can come forward. Recently, I had launched BNI Emperor, and I think it was just 5 months or 5 months old chapter. And Beenish had joined after 20 members were already there. When moment the Beenish has joined, I identified her as a driver. She was inviting so many visitors, and in fact, those visitors converted into members. She was the first one to become the Gold Club member.
Excellent.
Yeah. In that journey, what I noticed, that she had an excellent skill of inviting, not inviting, she was following up with me. So it was like, it was becoming my accountability partner, that she will always ask me, Hemali, what happened to this person? That helped me to convert those visitors into member. So I would say together we did it. And I asked Vijay that I have Beenish in my mind. And Vijay was also thinking, because she was a fairly new member, and how she can come up as a launch ambassador. And then we spoke. He said, okay, fine, I will speak to her and I will see. And look, and then Vijay had a meeting with her. And even he also realized the skill of Beenish. That yes, she can be converted into an ambassador. So she has broken all the records, and she became my launch ambassador, and we are working closely, and we are enjoying the journey. At the same time, I saw that there were few chapters. Now the launch director consultant will put their best effort to launch the chapter. Still, certain chapters could not go far. And that was the question what I had in my mind, that when I'm working, I'm launching the chapter, and that chapter has to go long lasting. It has to successfully, it should pass years and years and years ahead. Every chapter, I cannot support what I am launching. And I realized that there is a difference in the leadership. So every leaders have their own skill, they have their own strength. And the person who will take it further should be involved from the start. And then I thought of who can be the best mentor, who can support here. I did not have to look further, because Kapil is in my chapter and he's a master connector. And I've seen the skill what he has of mentoring, being empathetic with the members if they are facing any challenge in their life. And who can be the better person than Kapil Mathur to take this journey further and mentor the members. And it came up as a support ambassador role. And we named it as a dream team of BNI Victory. And I'm sure this is going to go ahead in BNI UAE, because this team is going to create
History.
history. Yes.
This is amazing, inspiring words for Kapil and Beenish. You set the bar. We have new roles now. So rightly mentioned by Hemali, launch ambassador for growth, launch ambassador for support. So why don't you guys get started again? I'm going to give the chance to the newest member who's just joined, Beenish, and now she's in this new role. So tell us about this role that you entail here with BNI Victory. And why did you get started with this? What inspired you?
What inspired? That's a very good question. And I hope that this inspiration is contagious, because what inspired me is the absence of my skill set. So I think, like Hemali mentioned, I am very conscious and very well aware that I strongly believe in growing chapters and growing your network, because I am someone who believes in sustainability in every angle of life, which means your chapter itself cannot be a sustainable chapter if the members don't have a mindset of growth. They can only have a mindset of growth if they believe in the growth by visitors and qualifying those visitors. So definitely that is a line that I am conscious about. However, doing that as a member for your own chapter comes comparatively easier instead of coaching a chapter and coaching members to be doing that, which means that that is also a role of support to that chapter. I am very conscious as a person and very self-aware about what my skill sets are and what skill sets are not as strong in me. So a support skill set in terms of taking my time, being very patient, supporting each member, it doesn't come naturally to me. So my inspiration was that this is while this is a growth role, but it is a support ambassador role. And I know that it will not come naturally to me, because launches, we all know, and everybody more than myself, everybody sitting here knows that launches are a challenge. It takes time. And being a support ambassador to a running chapter versus an ambassador to a launch chapter is entirely 360-degree different in terms of role, KPIs, what is required. So I was very conscious, and I knew that it's not easy. That was my inspiration. And I think when I had my one-to-one with BJ, I had my one-to-one with Hemali, I actually told them, I said, this is not a skill set, but I'm going into it being aware that it's not my skill set. Thus, I wish to acquire it. Now, they will only answer how well if I've been able to acquire, but I do know that it is a steep learning curve. And once you grow out of this role, then with launch skill set as well as support skill set, it only adds to my personal benefit, because ultimately with Givers Gain, we also have to ensure that our skill sets and our support and our own journey is being maintained in terms of the growth chart. And that is why I'm here.
Absolutely. And stepping out of a comfort zone and following your passion, it's truly admirable. So thank you for sharing the story with us, Beenish. And Kapil, over to you. What inspired you as a core group member, being with BNI for so long, to now finally take up this new role?
So, Raakhi, I have a huge admiration for entrepreneurs. I work with them very closely on a professional front with the work that I do. And also, when I think the entire format, reflecting on my 8-year journey with BNI, there was an inflection point in my first year when I realized how BNI can not just be a game changer for your work, but it can be a massive game changer in the way you look at the entire spectrum of your life. And I'll tell you why I say that. You know, entrepreneurs have a very lonely journey. All the time you're talking about your product, your services. But when you've got an army of salespeople doing that for you, it can really turn things around. So having experienced that myself, I feel very compelled that I must share this with as many people as I can. And I started doing that with our chapter members, the new people who are coming into the chapter over the years. I thoroughly enjoyed that process. You know, it gives me a huge amount of happiness and joy when I'm sitting with somebody and I'm able to create some value for them. So, and when Hemali was launching this chapter, there was no, and Hemali mentioned that, why don't you come on board? The only answer was yes. And I got involved with this. I really enjoyed it. I'm here with two power women, Hemali and Haider and Beenish. Both of them are absolute mavericks. So it's a privilege for me to be sharing the same space with them and be involved in creating a new chapter. And I can see the massive contribution that both are individually bringing to the table with their respective skill set. So for me, coming on as a support ambassador is something which I'm really enjoying. And yeah, I hope I can really make something out of Victory here.
Amazing. There's so much of sharing and learning. It is great tips. And thank you so much for sharing your story also with us, Kapil. Now, as we have already been speaking, the role is new. And again, we have not experienced this in the UAE before. All three of you have been in the core group, commonality, and the chapters were launched with no launch ambassadors. And of course, the director consultants were steering the entire chapter in terms of the growth and the support. Had there been any launch ambassadors at that point of time, how do you think it would have helped? I'll leave the question to any of you to answer.
Okay, I will go for that. As when I joined in 2014 as a core group member, we didn't knew anything what to expect from there and what kind of a handholding we can receive, because there was no mentor for us. If however, if there was a mentor for us, our journey would have taken a little more speed, rather than, you know, we were figuring out by ourselves that what to do. I tell you one instant that one day in the morning, I was not feeling okay. I was quite involved in the chapter, and I called my secretary treasurer, just started, and I asked her that I'm not feeling okay. What should I do? She says, it's okay, Hemali, you don't come. And then after I didn't go, and then afterwards I received a letter that they missed me. And that time I figured it out that this is absence makes a difference in my traffic light. And so, okay, this is about absence, about generating referral. Uh, Before BNI, my life was in a box, home box, car box, and office box. So I joined BNI to know more people, to network. I was not aware that I should also look into my network and show that even I have a network outside BNI, which I can invite them in BNI. I can grow my own contact sphere, and I can help all the members who are there in the chapter. All these things I realized much later. Those time there was no BNI business builder. So Beenish, you are
Lucky.
lucky that you don't have to ask someone, but okay, and you don't need to reinvent the wheel. It's already there. The process is there, and you can go and you can learn from online. Here, it took little time for us to find out what it has been required and how to do it. So sometimes I would say that we've fallen and we learn. Here, by introducing in BNI Victory, we are eliminating all those hurdles for all our members. So there is a mentoring is being provided from the day one they come on board as a member. Whether it is for inviting other people or whether it is how they can utilize this platform for themselves. Yeah, Beenish.
No, I was just going to say, if I have to add on to this in literally one line, I'll say the sustainability of a chapter, because there's someone to tell you why and how it should even be sustainable. The mentoring, the growth, the accountability, as well as your launch team as a driver. So for one person to drive an entire chapter has been happening, and people will do it. However, it's about facilitation, right? So I think these roles definitely cover, if nothing else, but facilitation, mentoring, sustainability, growth, accountability, guidance. All of these aspects are taken care of just in these two roles. And within the team also, then there's accountability and who takes up what and how do you hold each other accountable. It's not just the chapter, but within the launch team. And this is called a launch team now. So when we refer to the chapter members as well, we always tell them not that your launch director or your launch ambassador, but your launch team is here to facilitate you. And when they see three, they understand that it's a team facilitation. So it's actually valued and not even also taken for granted. Because I remember how much we had pulled down Hemali as well as the launch director, thinking that, oh yeah, she's there, she's meant to do everything. But as new members, till the time you don't come into it, you don't do your information sessions in person where you have to receive the money, mark that, and starting from small things and mini trainings, you think, oh, okay, like the launch director is meant to do everything, but it's really not. Within those roles, you support each other as well as the chapter sees it. That ultimately it's also about that team that will stand for the chapter. So it becomes easier for them to visualize and internalize. That's just my 2 cents to that.
I mean, I really feel that once the roles are divided and everybody gets their visibility and they're following what they're good at in terms of their niche, then that just drives a chapter forward. So excellent going, you guys. Hemali, again, you started the Victory team with a core group, and then now you have a support team as well. So tell us about the chapter. And I mean, how different is it now that you have a full team supporting you?
Raakhi.
Compared to Emperor, let's just say, how does it feel?
See, for Emperors, as what Beenish rightly said, that I was doing everything. When my team, my leadership team came on board, and when they were doing all the work, like they were dividing the work, every role holders have their own responsibility. At that time, all three of them told me, Hemali, you were doing and you were handling all these things alone. So that big question they had. And yeah, so there are a lot of things goes on backhand. In Victory, in terms of now they know that there are other people are there to help. So they know what to. So every meeting, we just started the expectation meeting. In that expectation meeting, we made it very clear to all the members that when they are going to approach Beenish, so they need to grow the chapter in terms of, as Beenish rightly said, she's a growth ambassador. So for the growth, how do they achieve that growth? And how do they invite, whom to invite, look into their context spheres, what is the difference between the target market. So all these things happens with Beenish. And in my BNI Victory, one of the guy who has joined is handling 2,000 plus employees. Purely he has joined just to become a better leader. People who have been into Victory, so that is GBH Consulting. And yesterday, I got one message from BNI Global, some other member, that they want the stadium in Saudi Arabia. And GBH is the largest construction company here. We asked them, can you do it? And this is the way, you know, the referrals are generating. So people have already started getting business, supporting each other, and generating referral for each other. This is possible because when Kapil is explaining about deep into the context spheres, deep about, you know, how to support other members to receive those referral for yourself. It's not about only receiving, it's about when you give and then you receive. So this has become more easier for them to understand and to grow themselves. So here it becomes very easy to contact, you know, either Beenish for what reason or to Kapil for what reason. And they know that, okay, Hemali is there. So we are taking the interview. We see that every member get that support. And Raakhi, the most important thing here is we support and mentor every new member to the extent what we can do it. And if we find if this is not benefiting them at any point, or it is not going to benefit the chapter, we let them go. And this is difficult conversation, which I have learned from when I got the mentoring from Vijay. So that support we all three are getting. So it's not about any time when we three are discussing, it's not necessary that we are discussing about, you know, we have to say yes, yes, yes to whatever we decide. We have our point, we put that point on the table, and we see that why this point to be implemented in BNI Victory.
Excellent. That's great information to share. And my next question is for both of these amazing launch ambassadors. With your couple of weeks, or I don't know how long you've been associated with the Victory chapter, out of your experience, Kapil and Beenish, what message do you have for anyone in the BNI fraternity out here in the UAE who's considering to take up this new role of launch ambassador? What would your message be to them?
So my only submission to them would be that if you think this is right for you, take it up and create the value for other members, because eventually whatever you sow right now comes back to you manifold. So you plant those seeds of credibility and you will see the results of that unfolding. And more than anything else, it is a matter of great joy when you see members getting engaged and getting to understand the process, because having been through the entire journey myself and seen the benefits of this, I think it would be very, very nice for anybody who can get involved with this. That's what I feel. Over to you, Beenish.
Sow the seeds and reap the success. Beenish.
Kapil bhai, you are so kind and you're so nice. I'm not, by the way. So I will tell you why. I'm not that sweet person. I'm not a sweet person because I will tell you launch ambassador is not easy. which is why you should take it. So I am someone who loves challenges. So when you talk about support ambassador, I haven't done support ambassador, and I hope that at some point I may think of doing it, or let's see how things unfold. But I know that support ambassador, because we also have a support ambassador in our chapter and every others do, support ambassador is only limited to the new members coming in. Launch ambassador is the only ambassador role that is available to all the members. That means even in terms of our learning, dealing, exposure, this is the only ambassador role that will give us that access to all the members to gather our data as well and create our own case studies. But why is it also challenging? Because it's a support for all the members and not just your new members coming in. And the fact that it's a support in different areas, so even within growth, because they're absolutely raw, right? Who are visitors? What are qualified visitors? How to identify them? How to invite them? What is the process of invitation for launch also? Because that's very different to a running meeting. There's so many aspects within that as well, that for me, purely because it is such a broad role, and in comparison to other ambassador roles, it is not as easy. I would say they're not easy. Of course, any ambassador role is not easy because supporting comes with a lot of determination. But this requires a lot of more commitment, self-motivation as well to it, along with keeping an accountability within the launch team. Because if we are not accountable within the launch team, it will impact the launch chapter. Absolutely. It's same as an LT has to be accountable for a running chapter, right? Within themselves as well, no matter who's the president, no matter who has the highest of the highest roles. And within the three of us, if we are also not accountable to each other, it shows on the chapter. So we also have to take care and balance out all of these. So my only advice would be, please take it up, because it will give you the exposure of skill sets and challenges, as well as members, and your visibility that you actually cannot have in any other support role. So definitely consider this, but set your expectations right. And that's, I think, what we teach generally in BNI, even to new members or to visitors. The minute your expectations are set right, everybody will perform. Whether those expectations are big or challenging or high or not, that's another question. So be conscious of it, know the expectations, and definitely take it up. And anybody who needs anything, we're glad to be selected as the pioneers for launch ambassadors. So we're more than happy to share our story on a one-to-one as well with anyone who's considering this and speaking to them about it.
Awesome. And my last question is to you, Hemali. It's a call out for the Victory chapter. What message do you have for someone who's considering to join the Victory chapter, and for members who are looking to even refer or sponsor a member to the Victory chapter?
My Victory chapter is for the busy business owner. UAE is a transient country. So people travel for business, and sometimes they face difficulty to attend the chapter meeting on every week. Victory is the only hybrid chapter in Center Dubai. So there are people who would consider to join online chapter. Sometimes they feel they feel that detachment. They need to see each other. So we are meeting once in a month. Once in a month, 1 week, first week of the month, we are meeting in person. And then the rest of the week, we are meeting online. It becomes very easy for them to attend even when they are traveling. So we have people who are traveling there, and online is the future. So it becomes very easy, because this is the future. We never thought before pandemic that we can generate sale online. It's a different mindset. My Victory chapters are members are very, very happy. People are learning that. Zoom, we all have learned in 2020, and the more features are coming on Zoom, which becomes more interactive, becomes more easy. It's, comfort at our home. So that is my Victory and only chapter which is in downtown area. So it's a center area where it becomes easy for everybody. It's easily accessible area where we are going to meet.
What day are you meeting? Just to let everybody know.
Thank you. We are meeting on every Thursday.
Amazing.
So then after
and very
Thursday,
few chapters are on Thursday at the moment, right? Very
Yes.
few chapters.
yes. So and there are people who are award winner in Victory chapter. They are creating their power team, and you see the enthusiasm of the chapter members from now. Because of the support of Beenish and Kapil, people are more they understand BNI values from now. So then it helps them in their journey to grow further.
Amazing. And with that being said, I mean, thank you so much, Hemali, Kapil, Beenish. We'll take more details about you all in terms of any missing categories, any categories we're looking to fill in, and provide that to the audience and everybody else who's looking to join, or they know anybody who's looking to join this amazing elite group of members. So with that being said, thank you so much, guys, for taking out the time today. And here's wishing you all the very best in launching the Victory chapter.
Can we
Thank
show
you,
the
Raakhi.
Victory sign now?
Yeah. Thank
Show
you.
the sign.
Thank you.
Amazing.